You beat in 13 hours?
Mass Effect Uno? Yeah.
Yeah.
It said 13.
All right.
I was playing on Facile, remember?
It's impressive.
I
No
beat a
judgment.
game. I'm impressed if I beat a game, remember? Yeah, I rolled credits.
Oh, shit.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah. Sound good?
Alright, YouTube's online. Twitch is online. Twitch is back this week.
I gotta move my giant prop here.
We're okay.
This will come in later in the show.
I'm ready for props.
So I got I went through and I scoured to try and find some of the best articles I could.
Excuse me. Shit.
And also to find shit that actually covered stuff in order.
Okay.
So the two there's two links from Tom's Guide, and those, once you click on them and get onto the page, if you scroll down a little bit, then you start seeing the actual, like the first one you see it almost immediately, but the second one that covers the Capcom show, you've got to scroll down quite a bit, and then you start seeing, or not quite a bit, but a decent, then you start seeing the announcements.
That works. If someone gets lost,
Oh,
we'll let you guide us.
Obviously there's a lot of damn shit to talk about.
It's gonna be a long one. I haven't played many games though.
This
so.
is,
and maybe y'all can just discuss Ratchet & Clank and whatever else you played. I gotta pull up all the news.
Me as well. Don't feel bad.
Helmet Kruger.
okay. Yeah, we've hit all the highlights, so I feel good.
What was that, Brent?
I was just looking at all the lineup for E3 from last week, and then seeing what I put on the news. We hit all the highlights and the lowlights.
Yeah.
I mean,
thank you for building news.
Square's presentation was rather underwhelming.
I think we have one thing to discuss there.
Chaos.
We have two things to discuss there.
I said the thing. I said the thing.
Chows.
Hey, I'm actually excited about that Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Then they showed at the Nintendo thing. I'm like,
Because-
what the fuck? That's gonna run on Switch?
Yeah. Probably pretty bad, but it will.
It'll
I was
run fine.
surprised.
That little clip.
It'll run fine. It's the cloud version. It'll run fine.
Oh.
That's key information.
They kind of glanced over that. They came back and reiterated in Twitter later. It's a cloud version. That game's
Gotcha.
cloud.
I'd still rather play it on new hardware.
And I think they said the cloud services is being provided by Nintendo this time for that game.
Oh wow.
So.
Well, then then it may not run fine.
Avoid.
You have to hook your Switch to your smartphone in order to get it.
I think they're just helping with the servers. That's it.
Avoid.
Gotcha.
I think this is their first foray into getting games like Final Fantasy VII Remake on Switch with cloud services. So
Cloud services.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a good title. It's in the preamble. This is the gold stuff. Cutting room floor, people. I was just out in the woods, so I'm afraid. I pulled one tick off myself already.
Oh, I did that yesterday. Yeah. It was just crawling around. It hadn't bitten down yet.
This one was just on my leg, and I'm like, where were you headed, bitch?
Sorry, I just remember the American Dad episode where Roger's like, "Do I have a tick on me?" And some kind of giant ass tick on his back. It's like, "Is there one there?" I heard they're walking around. It's just a giant ass one.
On that weird looking alien.
They're just looking at him because it's like, yeah, we see it. It's freaking huge. Stupid. Oh
He kind of
man.
looks like a tick, anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like something doesn't sound right.
Oh,
I don't know
man.
if I'm using different headphones or what, but it's off on my side. But y'all hear me fine? Like, well,
Yeah, everything sounds good. You sound clean. Yeah,
I'm putting us
no
on.
here's not my
distortion.
camera.
Watching us on 1080p, 60 frames per second on YouTube. It looks fine. I see all the extra frames that Brent has. He's up to
Brant
60.
frames.
He's like, whoa! It's like a flash. It's going across the screen.
There we go.
Yeah, Mike's using the Yeti.
Oh, you sound good. Brent sounds good. Do I sound all right?
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I always sound like butt.
Fine here.
Well, you sound fine now, and everything's working fine. You'll be describing something, and your
Usual.
audio will want to switch somewhere else, and
Usual.
your camera will flick off, and
I have a
You'll-
USB switch down here, and sometimes I kick it with my foot,
You're golden.
and then it just and like, oh, work computer's off.
yeah,
didn't have the
Microsoft will
work
want to
computer there.
update some drivers and
That happens too. Yeah.
fuck some shit up.
But then again, I'm having a million things going on my screens right now. I got 4 screens, so. Yes, this is how we think I'm the only way I can record this is having multiple things going on at once. So otherwise, I lose attention quickly. Mm-hmm.
Distraction is key.
Yeah.
It's my goal.
That's helpful.
Yeah, I looked at the YouTube one to make sure I don't.
We look
get
good.
The,
We're squared
the
up. I see
Inception
us on
going there,
that's
so.
our screen. We have like screenception.
I use this screen over here.
Only
That
on the
way y'all
Skype
can see
feed.
that I'm
Cut
paying
off on
attention to you
the
guys.
actual
The
live
screen over
feed.
here. The other 2 screens to the right.
That's pretty
It's
good.
the stuff that I don't use to pay attention to you guys. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
And probably what happened with the sound is
Microsoft
you
thing. We were trying to
probably would have
scramble
had to
find
go
the
back
capture.
in
The
and
capture
choose a
looked
different
okay. It
audio
just wasn't
capture
ordered
and
like I
choose
wanted to. Like it was an actual window
from the
capture, so-
desktop and add
Reese.
that to the because OBS is wonderful like that. You know.
Yep.
You did.
Yep. And then I just now remembered
Man.
when you also clarified that
They
nobody
missed our bit
hears
with
SRR, I
the
remembered
zebra
that
stripe gum,
that
so.
NBI source is muted. I might have had the source muted on the
Ooh.
OBS side on Audio Mix, but I thought I checked that and I saw that it was fine. And then
Oh,
I found
yeah.
that shit. This guy had a damn polo with the
Yeah,
zebra stripe.
You had to look it
fruit
up because it
stripe,
wasn't even called
zebra
zebra stripe.
logo
That
on
was
it.
zebra stripe. It
We
was
could have
fruit
sworn
stripe.
that's
Fruit
what
stripe.
it was, and then I found it at the dollar store right after that. And then I forgot. Yeah, it's fruit stripe gum.
Oh.
So that's how I showed it to her and let her buy it, and then she has a spacer in her mouth, and she let me know that Daddy, I can't chew gum.
Well, I mean, she can still get the taste. Just like put it on her tongue,
actually
and
hot
within
down
2
here.
seconds,
Yes,
it's
that's
I
what I
mean,
forgot.
the
You can't do
flavor's
that.
gone anyway. So it's the best damn flavor ever,
That is
and it's
exactly
so
what he
good.
said.
And then
It's
it's
2 seconds of
just
flavor, and then that's it.
butthole. Yeah, that's true.
For 2
Between
seconds.
that and Bazooka Joe, that was.
But then you
that
had
was
the
really
tattoo
days.
wrapper that you get also. Tattoo wrapper. Yep. All right. How many people do we
Let's
have?
do it.
Don't be
Twitch
fooled.
says
I got
three.
Twitch open on
Five.
multiple
All right,
devices.
5 folks.
So
Let's go.
Out of those 5, I'm at least
You guys ready to get this?
4.
That's fine with me. All we need to get is 3 per episode, and we are driving towards Twitch affiliation. And then we streamed on. That was Sunday, right? So that knocked out something else. I need to next time. Oh God, restart schedule for important updates. Not now. Not now. Not now. Not now. Not now. Oh dear God. I need to when nobody's gonna play Halo for a lunch break. I need to pop down here for that hour and knock it out in the middle of the day. And then if I can let y'all know, like, hey, if you aren't gonna do something, but you know, hey, I'm going live, and then you can have it up as part of our numbers. That would help. And listeners, we have 5 listeners, viewers there.
Welcome
We always
all.
appreciate your support.
Yes.
You guys ready? Brent, you updated the
Yes.
title. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 163 of the NOFODcast. We are no outside food or drink, the Southeast premier video game podcast. Lots of news tonight. There was a small video gaming convention that was held, not physically, but digitally last week. And we have all your greatest news, or not so greatest news, from that entire show, including the Jeff Keighley show featuring Weezer. Thank you, Brent, for building the news, as always. The amazing Xbox and Bethesda presentation, plus Game Pass announcements. Brant put amazing in there. We're going to find out why. It's pretty good. Ubisoft, Square, Capcom, I guess we'll have their updates, and top tier Nintendo announcements. So this is all E3. Was there any news in the industry outside of E3 this past week?
There was something from today about, what is it, the PS3 and original
Grand Theft Auto
360. Yeah, the Grand Theft Auto servers, Grand Theft Auto Online servers.
Max Payne 3, LA Noire.
Yep.
Press Exit out.
Those are going down.
You
later
mentioned that last
this
week,
year.
didn't you? You did it to it. The kiss of death from Cesar. Oh, I'm Richard Bergman. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm also joined by my comrades in arms, Brant McKee.
Scouring the internet to bring you all of this great news.
Scowling on
news correspondent.
And
he's our news correspondent.
He's definitely our news correspondent. Our production co-assistant with questionable content facing us on that shelf back there, Cesar Concepcion II. Welcome, Cesar.
Hello. I'm always having questionable content at every new.
Sir, that's why you're here. That is the niche that you fill on the NOFODcast. You bring the questionable content that we normally would have somehow missed out on. You bring it to the forefront. So we appreciate your service.
No worries. Yeah, that's what I'm here for. Yeah.
We're indebted to your abilities and your additions to the industry and the podcast.
Yes.
That's We've already nominated you. I think we've mentioned this. We've nominated you for a Cesar Award.
It's just us in the room and we're just all shaking each other's hands. I'm like, Cesar.
Cesar of the year. Cesar of the year. Cesar of last year. Cesar of the decade. That joke never dies.
The all-time Cesar Award.
Yeah.
Cesar Lifetime Achievement Award.
World premiere, Cesar.
Oh.
Cesar exclusive.
Regional world premiere.
All right, let's jump straight into this news. We got a shit ton.
Yeah.
Oh, the Jeff Keighley show, the Summer Game Fest 2021. This was Friday, it feels like, or Saturday.
Friday.
This news comes from IGN.
Yeah. Skip that first story. We'll get to that later. That was the big one.
They ended with that, didn't they?
Yeah, they ended with that, but then the rest of it's in order.
All right, I kind of want to just skim through this, and then we
can jump through.
And let's bounce back and see if there was anything crazy. But if this is not your first time,
let's get the dartboard and we'll just throw it and figure it out as we go.
Sure. Metal Slug Tactics.
Metal Slug Tactics.
There we go.
Ding.
That was the thing that was announced.
Metal Slug Tactics was revealed. Looks to be a strategic take on the long-running franchise. Before that, we had Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Arrives in early 2022 from Borderlands developer. It's going to be a standalone game.
It's not a Borderlands. Yeah, it's not Borderlands, but it is Borderlands.
Standalone game in the Borderlands universe. Death Stranding Director's Cut coming to PS5. What's a Jeff Keighley show without a Kojima appearance, right? And did y'all see that trailer with the fucking Metal Gear box and the oranges and shit? What's up with that?
What was that?
It's like weird references.
I know they didn't talk about it on here, but you know, what was that Blue Studios, the Blue Box Studios, or what are they called? Where they got that theory that is Kojima also.
Kojima fucking
Blue
everybody.
Box. Oh yeah.
Even though he says they said they have nothing to do with it, but somebody found out that the studio was created the day after PT came out in the same year. It's like they're seeing all these weird stuff all on the internet. It's like the studio doesn't have a website.
Too many
yet.
connections.
They're like, it's coming soon. But apparently their game's supposed to get we'll get a preview in a week from today. From
it has
Sony,
a name, doesn't it? What was the name of that thing?
I don't know. They just came out with a tweet that the game starts with an S and ends with an L.
Yeah. And then they came out and apologized. They're like, we're not associated, affiliated with Konami. Konami owns Silent Hill. We didn't mean to lead people on and make it seem like we were announcing Silent Hill.
Starts with an S. And
what
ends
did you
with an
think
L.
was going to happen?
I love Twitter, man. Somebody's on there's like, what are you doing? Somebody's on there's like, what are you doing? Is this it or not? Because you guys are, I don't know what you guys are doing. Somebody was on Twitter saying, like, what is
It
happening?
could be Skater XXL, right?
What was? I don't remember what it was called. It was like Abandoned or something like that.
Yeah.
What was that? What was it
Yeah,
called?
Abandoned.
Yeah.
Is the working title.
All right. Jeff Goldblum helped reveal Jurassic World Evolution 2. This was a very popular title. It ended up coming out for everything. I think PC, Xbox, PS4, Switch. So this one is also coming to next-gen consoles or current-gen consoles, as Cesar would put it. Korean MMO Lost Ark headed to the West, fall 2021. Sable got a release date of September 23rd. That demo is up now on Xbox. Among Us is going to add hide-and-seek mode and more. Salt and Sacrifice was announced for 2022, featuring online co-op for PS4 and PS5. 2 Point Campus officially announced, even though that had been leaked, feels like a couple weeks ago. That's also 2022. Somebody else want to jump in with this list? This is actually a very good list.
Yeah.
Brand, thank you for finding it.
I feel like that's the problem with nowadays is nothing stays secret, because a lot of this stuff it had either been rumored or leaked in some aspect.
I think we're going to get to that, but I think that's what was so exciting about the Nintendo show is that everything was so random. It had that same. Those aren't like heavy hitters for me, but the fact that it was just a surprise and it was fun to see these things get announced and come out of nowhere, that it still felt like it had that spark to it.
That Nintendo show was like 100% Game Boy Advance show.
It was. It truly was. That's a good analogy.
Back to this showcase. Escape from Tarkova takes the battle to New Arena. I don't remember what they said that was coming on. It doesn't listed on here.
Gameplay change there, but every time I've seen somebody stream that, they're in a street, they're in an apartment building. So I don't know. I've never played Escape from Tarkov. It looks like something might be our jam.
It was interesting looking. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll come on something. It might be a Game Pass title. We might play it on that. Stranger Things and Smite are doing a collaboration. Atlanta's own Smite. And
Stranger Things, right?
It was also Stranger Things. It was also built in Atlanta until the last season. I think it was in Arizona after that. Left 4 Dead style co-op shooter, the Anticross, was officially announced.
The Anarchist.
And
the Antichrist.
I'm looking at. I put the Anticross. I don't know where we're getting any of those things.
The Anarchist. This did y'all watch this? Did you guys see the trailer for this?
Yes, it's in the space station. It's very Left 4 Dead-y.
It is very Left 4 Dead. To me, it didn't. I don't know if it's very early build or something. It didn't look very polished at this point.
There was a lot of Left 4 Dead-esque games. Is that type of gameplay making a comeback, you think?
It's still popular.
Yeah, not a bad model to follow.
Yep, here we go. Koch. I'm gonna call them Koch Media, not Koch Media, like they're supposed to be called. Reveals new publishing. Koch Media reveals a new publishing label, Prime Matter, which they announced like a whole shit ton of stuff. I think their big thing was a new Painkiller game. They announced like 12 titles under that Prime Matter.
Yeah.
The Bubsy was not one of them. I'm just buying time. One of them was Payday 3, Crossfire Legion, King's Bounty 2, Last Oricra, whatever it was, Encased, Gungrave Gore, which is based off the anime. I'll play that. The Chant, codename Final Form, which is also came from an anime probably. This is not my Final Form. Dolmen, Project Echoes of the End, and they finish it off with Painkiller with no gameplay at all on that one. I think it was just like we're making another Painkiller.
Yeah.
But they didn't show anything other than a few snippets for Payday 3, which would probably be the other big name thing from them. The good old vaporware Vampire the Masquerade was the Blood Hunt was announced, and it's a vampire battle royale, which is I guess it's just a battle royale style game. Then we got a new Tales of Arise.
All right, what'd you think, Resident Tales fan?
Looks really good. I like how they paired them off, and they all have different abilities. It looks really, really interesting. It looks very different because the guy who's running the Tales show, since Hideo left, is the guy who did the Monster Hunter. He's running Tales now, so it's going to be interesting to see how different it's going to play. It should play very differently.
Is that a change that you're because as I feel like the three of us have been playing games for a long time, right? we want a new Metroid. We want a new Metroid. If we never got a new Metroid, there's all these great Metroid games, and I feel like, if you don't evolve and you don't try something new, where's that series going to go? And if it takes chances and it takes steps like this, like you're having, Cesar, if it's a huge misstep and they end up going back to old Tales, or they stick with this, are you, is Tales tarnished in your mind? Are you still content knowing that you have like 30 years of great Tales games and that sort of thing? I think as long running as some of these series are, that I thought about this when people were paying in Breath of the Wild, and it's like, it doesn't have dungeons, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that, and I'm like, I know people want that, but you could also go play Twilight Princess and run through those dungeons, and Skyward Sword is coming back, and that has the dungeons. So it's one of those things that I think about as we've been around and been monitoring these franchises as they go. And I know you're a huge Tales fan across multiple generations and multiple platforms. When they take a gamble like this, is this something that you look forward to them exploring, or are you safe knowing, hey, there's great Tales titles that I can always go back to if this isn't for me, that sort of thing?
It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, like you said, I have different ways of playing Tales games, multiple consoles, but it's more akin to what I always see people who always are very vocal, like Breath of the Wild, or not fans, or
Yeah.
who prefer the old Tales games, who can't afford multiple consoles, who don't have the space, who doesn't have family members who would support that type of hobby. I got a lot of those people at work.
Or that move on.
They're like, all right,
I don't think about that. You have people who are like, all right,
yeah.
I'm done with PS4. I'm trading that in. I'm going to PS5. And that's a backwards compatible console, so it's not a great example. But I know what you mean as far as that goes. They don't have access to the older ones immediately.
Because my coworker was destroyed. There was no Zelda collection. He doesn't. All he has is a Switch now. That's all. That's all he has. I mean, if he had room, or other things he can support. He's got like 5 kids. He can't support buying multiple consoles and games. So he's left out. It's like, I'm not gonna go back and buy the old stuff and try to play old Zelda games. He's like, it's too much work. It's easier for him to just get ported to a new console.
And we always do mention that. Like, this necessarily, that may not be for us. I have 4 different ways to play Ocarina of Time, but I would have loved to have this on this new for those type situations. For people to be able to play those. So that's a good example of that.
So to answer your question, I mean, I'm okay with the experimentation, but I can go back and play the old games. But for those other people who are still clamoring for ports for other Tales games, it's like they're just left in the dark on that. And some people don't like the new stuff; they want the old stuff, and they don't have means to do it. So,
but
it's unfortunate. I do hear those people say that. But
we do applaud efforts. Like, we got the Tales of Vesperia, we got that remaster. So as long as they keep bringing that stuff forward, and a lot of the big companies and big franchises have been doing a good job of doing that. So.
I think we had a chat in the text before about like that Final Fantasy collection we'll talk about later that got announced for PC. Like, that's why, I mean, do I need to buy that stuff? There's a million different ways for me to play, but I still support it because I have friends who need new ways of playing stuff. So I'll pay those dollar bills so I can get that company show that I'm interested in, stuff like that. Plus, I like those games anyways. So.
Yep, you're right.
But outside of that, yeah, that's my take on Tales. It looks really good. I didn't really pay too much attention to it, kind of glanced at it a little bit and just looked at it back and forth. I want to be more surprised about it than anything else. So it's supposed to be a new direction. I think the team is made from veterans from the Tales series and some veterans from Monster Hunter and some new people in there. So they're trying to keep the spirit of Tales. I think that's what the new director's saying, but expand it.
What is I'm not a huge Tales person. What is the spirit of Tales? What gives you essential? Like, chocobos, airships, that sort of thing. Like, what gives you that?
I mean, there's nothing like that that's a precursor like that. So I think it's always been the storytelling, and then the battle system's always been fun to go against. So the battle system was always a 2D type playing-ish, and it's very simplistic. Like
left to right or right to left, that sort of thing.
And it's usually a magic button and an attack button. And that's
what else do you need?
Can map different.
We should have stuck with the NES controller. We had both of those.
And then the magic button, you can map additional attacks to the, directional pad for different spells. So, I mean, there's different ways of doing it. So that game company, Sky, Children of Light, is launching on Switch this month. Le Petit Prince is arriving in July. Then we had Overwatch 2's game director show off Baptiste and Sombra's new look. Planet of Lana is a beautiful off-Earth odyssey. Monster Hunter Stories 2, they gave us an additional reveal trailer. We don't have the Capcom show here, do we?
Good.
A little bit.
There's a little
Yeah, we
Capcom.
do.
That looked good. I don't know if I will play that, but
We saw a lot of Dragon our Monster Hunter stories.
it's going to be a heavy hitter for
I
them.
played the original on 3DS. This one's like fun. It's like this one looks
It's your
more like
Breath of Fire game?
6. Yeah, that's what it
Breath
feels
of
like.
Fire.
It feels like this one was a more of a fully realized. This is what Breath of Fire would usually play like. And it's got that.
I still think about that as heartbreaking to me. All right, Breath of Fire.
I'm fine with the lines. It's good. I do the character designs and all that does remind me a lot about Xenoblade. I get that Xenoblade feel with those characters, so designs and everything, and how that world looks a little bit. So we'll see. That one's coming on with Switch and PC day and date in July, and I think in a couple months or in a few months, I know Monster Hunter, the one that came out on the Switch, that one's coming out also on PC.
Resay?
Yeah.
Pretty soon. Yeah. Endless Dungeon gameplay revealed. Then you had the Nier Automata's 2B announced for Fall Guys.
That's an interesting pick for Fall Guys, but let's go.
2B's popular, so go into
popularity seems to be for a certain reason. So the Fall Guys selection seems interesting to me, but hey, Nier's out there. I never thought 10 years ago Nier would be this force that it is.
2B is you could look at it superficially, but 2B is a pretty deep character when you play the game. But that's why, me personally, I think that's why she's popular. There's a couple people out there who go for other things. Call of Duty Zombies creator announces Deviation Games, and they're doing a partnership with PlayStation.
That was a big deal.
I think they went into more detail on the PlayStation blog, where he went into and said that they were getting full access, like their first party studio. I think a lot of people pointed out Sony's never done this before, where they never, partnered up with these local studios and given them first party access, because they don't own the studios, and who knows what's going to happen with the IP, if they have a piece of the IP or not. But I've seen like this. I guess this is an experiment that they're doing versus buying studios, because I don't like Sony buying studios, because we see what happens when Sony buys studios. They don't perform, they close. So I guess this is their idea. They can grow studios and then get something out of it without having to fully invest in them. And then they're like, well, you guys are not doing anything, so we're just going to close you. If they don't fully own them, they can probably just go do their own thing somewhere else. So
or maybe take that IP off. If that IP didn't take off on PlayStation, maybe get that to Xbox or PC or Switch or somewhere where it might be a little better off.
This is the second studio I think they made this deal. First one was a AAA multiplayer game, and this is the second one. It looks like it, right?
Have we gotten that AAA?
They made that announcement.
Have we gotten that other game yet, or is that still?
They made the same exact announcement, I think, a couple months ago with this other studio. I forgot what it was. They were just going to do a multiplayer game where they're doing the exact same deal, where they were not part of Sony, but they're getting all the Sony assets like a first-party studio would be. So, to make their game. So I think this is the second partnership. And they haven't done this before. This is new. So we'll see.
So not even really second party, not even really like a Rare or somebody like that from Nintendo back in the day, but like a 1.5 or something.
This is the third studio. The other one was a Jade Raymond studio. That was
That's
the second one. Yeah, this is the third studio.
That's right.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I guess this is their way of getting new IPs on there. Because, and then we had Far Cry 6's Giancarlo Esposito. He discussed his character Anton Castillo on the island of Yara for the additions for the Far Cry series,
which looks like Cuba. It's Cuba in everything but name.
Cuba.
Yeah.
They could have been put a Y in there called Yuba, and it would have been funny. But they were like, we know what you're doing here. Gearbox is publishing in Norsefel's Tribes of Midgard, and they get a release date for July 27th, and that'll be releasing on PS5, PS4, and Steam. Evil Dead, the game, showcases new gameplay, narrated by Ash Williams, Bruce Campbell himself. A lot of Back 4 Blood this weekend.
There was a lot.
Got a new trailer, and it showed off a new horrifying enemy. Then they ended the show on the Elden Ring stuff.
Elden Ring.
That stuff that everybody's talking about, the Elden Rings. The Rings of Elden.
They blew everyone's mind with Elden Ring. It even threw a release date on there.
Yeah, I know.
January 21st, 2022.
Then they came out, they said there would be next-gen versions of those games, PS5 and Series, so which wasn't before. which sucks for them because I bought the PS4 one on that weird buy 2 get 1 free on Amazon like 3 years ago when it was announced. So it's been sitting in my open orders. I will hold on to that one because I think it's like $26 is what I'm paying for that one, which I think we get the free upgrade.
Not bad.
Yeah. I will roll with that. That concludes as Richard puts on there, the Summer of the Keeleys.
He always gets good deals and good exclusives, and that show is always entertaining.
And then he was still on the E3 stream. So
when does he just take it? When does he just get it from ESA and it's just the Keeleys during the summer of Keeley?
I guess at some point it's like you said, you made a comment on that. I don't know where, maybe off stream or probably like that. Where at some point I guess if it's up for sale, I mean you have enough money, you take it and buy it.
He may get to the point though where his Game Awards and he has more of that market share. I mean E3 is still a name, but it's getting to be even further from what it initially was that we all learned it as a name. So, and maybe like you're saying, the ESA offers it to him. That just becomes the thing.
Get out the game, if they're burning too much money. I mean, before we start on the whole E3 conference thing, we can all admit that this year's E3 was very underwhelming, and we knew it would be.
Yeah.
Because COVID had hit last year.
Yep.
Everything that was shown off was either super early or they went into deeper details and developers. We didn't see much as gameplay, which is fine. It's cool. Or a lot of it's stuff that's been announced previously before that, like the Capcom show was like they were strictly just went over what was coming out in the next couple of months. I mean, I think they came back and clarified that they were making some DLC for Village. I think, but that was like the only announcement they had.
Yeah,
it was like super early. Didn't have anything planned. There was like no roadmap or nothing. They're just like, hey, we're gonna do it at some point. So
this is the COVID E3.
And yep, somebody did their prayer and candle circle and Twitter. And they put Advance Wars and Golden Sun in the middle of it, and it worked. And they were pleased when they came back. They're like, the prayer circle worked. It's like, I should have fucking did with Dino Crisis, is what he said. So
I should have done it with Dino Crisis. Oh, man.
I just begged for Dino Crisis. Like, I didn't do the prayer circle for Dino Crisis.
All right. Microsoft was Sunday. This is the one we tried to stream over. Brant, do you want to get us started on this one?
Yeah, this right here is the heavy hitter.
So you were really okay. All right, let's go. We didn't do these hot takes. Well, I kind of did with the Nintendo one, but so Brant, you were pretty pleased with the Xbox show.
Yeah,
okay,
I think
you don't have a series console, right? Did this get you go in that direction?
Let me clarify this because I did not message you or show you guys anything before the podcast because I wanted to do this as a bit for the podcast.
Here we go. We have a new member of the family.
This show was so damn good.
Oh my god!
I went today and got one.
That's why you were updating Master Chief Collection. I was like, what are you doing?
Yes.
The club.
First disc-based game, I popped into the console and got everything going on it because.
Awesome.
I mean, I might as well try and play with you at some point.
Welcome. Excellent, sir. Wow, it did its job.
I'm only waiting on these two jokers right here to get a Series Small like me. Join me.
Series Small.
Full set. Join me. Full set.
So here's the story. I asked Katie to go to GameStop today to try and pick one up. And I said, if there's a huge line outside of the GameStop over here, don't worry about it. She went this morning. She said there was a huge line. So during my lunch break, because part of the other reason while she was out, my son wants Garage Builder.
Oh.
And they were going to do that, and then they stopped in the Walmart. Walmart didn't have it, and of course they weren't going to go to GameStop, so they did some other shopping and then went home. And I figured on my lunch break I'd go into the local GameStop around the corner from where we work.
Oh, I like that store.
So I go in there and I ask, hey, is Garage Builder here? Guy goes, no, actually I'm sold out. Wow. I get a shipment the end of this week.
Sold out of Garage
should
Builder.
Have more. Yeah.
Wow.
He said I should have more coming. He goes, I can print you off a list of some other local stores, but they all have low stock right now, so I can't verify how many. And I just noticed right behind him, he's got all this Xbox stuff set up behind him, and I mean, seemingly two consoles, both S and X, sitting behind him, as well as 3 different variants of controllers. I go, do you have the Xbox Series consoles in stock? He goes, yeah. So you got to be kidding me. I said, this morning, down where I live, there was a huge line.
Awesome.
He said, "Oh, I had like 2 people sitting out front this morning."
Wow.
He goes, I think he said I got like 12 or 11 consoles in. He goes, I still have them. So I said, all right, bring me up.
Excellent.
So I got one.
Excellent. Did you do the Ultimate for the 3 months for $1? Did you get started on Ultimate? Game Pass Ultimate?
I haven't pulled the trigger. I think I'm going to.
Yeah,
especially with, and we're going to talk about this pretty much everything. A majority of the things shown in this presentation are going to be on Xbox first, and will an overwhelming number of these will be Game Pass day one.
We were almost going to make it a drinking game. Cesar was like, these all got to be Game Pass, right? Everything we see is going to be Game Pass. And then there was one title like 45 minutes in that didn't say. I think it was Diablo. Yeah, Diablo 2.
Diablo.
I was like, oh my god, that's the first thing we've seen that doesn't have Game Pass attached to it. So they're leaning that way, and they got you. They got Brent.
Yep. They
reeled him
this.
in.
This show was that good.
Cool.
I know. I joked about, if they threw a Xbox 360 theme on there that brought back the blades and all that, I would jump in immediately. But no, this show got me
awesome
immediately.
I'm digging the enthusiasm, man. Okay, all right, get us started with the
so yes,
Xbox
I'm gonna jump into this. So first, they led off with their newly acquired Bethesda. They opened the show with Starfield,
and gave that a
so
date.
we got they got a new trailer, covered some details and things, and then said that it's going to be a series console and PC exclusive. It's coming to November. It's coming out November 11th, 2022. Some people had speculated, because I think when they first announced Starfield, they said it was PlayStation or just coming. They're working on it, so people were wondering after this whole deal if it was going to be exclusive or what. But now we know
the definitive Xbox and PC.
This is the definitive. Then they came.
Hopefully, here's the thing.
Next...
I'm gonna let you keep going. Here's the thing. Hopefully, when that that exclusive deal, which is why you want to do this to sell consoles and get people on Game Pass and such. Hopefully, they're readily available. I mean, you walking in, like you. But today was rare. That was an exclusion. You're not always able to walk into a store and walk out with an Xbox. So hopefully that pays off down the road and they're able to have these in stores. Yeah,
GameStop announced, and I even think during the show, Microsoft said, we're working really hard to get these out.
And this applies to both of them. I want PlayStations to be available for everybody, so there's not scalpers selling them for $800 and stupid shit.
Well, you even said that you came across some S's in a Walmart out in the wild.
I did see them.
They're out there. They're getting them into the stores. So you just gotta be patient.
I saw 4 one day and 0 the next day because I had to go back there.
Yeah. Then they came out with a trailer for Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl. This again looked like it's going to be a great game.
This is when Cesar and I got on the stream. Because I missed the whole Starfield stuff. How did Starfield look?
Pretty good.
I'm cold on that one just because it's so far off, and it's always seemed like something that was so far off.
It's I don't know if it's a day one.
It will be for you with Game Pass.
It does.
It's day one.
I was about to say if it's Game Pass.
It is.
But it looks. It doesn't look bad. So. Let's see. This is described as it focuses on a group of men increasingly oppressed with the zone and mutated and paranormal creatures that can be found within it. And they talk about how the lighting effects were featured prominently. This is also a coming first to Xbox and PC. April of next year,
Stalker 2.
2022.
Stalker's a PC franchise, right? Did that first one ever come out on any consoles?
No,
I don't think so.
Studio was pretty big. They had gotten big, kind of like a
Ah.
Half-Life big, where they were doing like these bunch of different expansion packs, and then they tried to make 2, and then they kind of like fell apart. I mean, 2's been announced, like it's been cooking for years.
Yeah.
So I want to say it's been almost 2 generations back. I think now they're finally getting to the point where they had I think some other studio came back, like the veterans from that studio came and built a new studio and bought the IP or something like that, because I think that original studio fell apart, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. There was a lot of drama with it at the time, because Stalker got so big.
So it's kind of a miracle that we're even to this point on it, right?
I imagine that Microsoft helped them a lot funding-wise. That's probably why this game's getting made, so...
Then we got, of course, some more Back 4 Blood
Can't wait.
news. Then there was a brand new game from Avalanche Studios called Contraband that was just more of an announcement trailer, like a little cinematic thing that kind of ran through. Not much to go off of.
No, the most impressive thing in that whole trailer was that they pulled out the Microsoft logo from the 70s.
They did. They did. That was dope.
Yeah.
Like 80s, not 70s, but the 80s, excuse me. Like the old-ass Microsoft logo, so...
Then they showed off a little bit more of Battlefield 2042.
Battlefield looks good as shit. Battlefield looks really good.
Yes. It does look really good. I'm still disappointed there's no single player, but I'm overwhelmed at the weather effects, the tornado. I was talking with somebody else today, and they were saying, yeah, one of the maps is supposed to have like this volcano that can erupt during the conflict. I'm like,
yeah,
this is just
friend
insane.
of the show, Jeremy, said nothing says a Battlefield game like a tornado that will kill you. Battle tornado.
I kept looking. I was looking for sharks flying in the tornado. That's all I was talking about.
Sharknado.
There's got to be stuff in here.
That's DLC.
It's got to be. They have to do it. There has to be one where they just go with it.
And then on top of that, friend of the show, Jeremy, also reminded me that 2042 is the year I can retire. that's my retirement Battlefield.
Oh,
always there for the reminders.
Next in the show, they showed off 12 Minutes, which is this. It's like an indie studio. It's based on time looping. But this is the one that's got some big names in it, tied to it, with the likes of James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and Willem Dafoe.
Starring as Agent 47, Cesar called him.
Yeah. He did look
and he's like, every clip,
Agent
he's like
47.
wrapping up bodies and moving them around. Cesar said Agent 47, and I'm like, I'm laughing because it looks like him. And then he's always picking up these bodies and moving them around. I'm like, damn. Oh, but it's like a top-down storytelling game, right? It just looks so good.
Yeah.
I mean, we made comments like there was a couch in there. It's like no TV. It's like a couch facing the dining room table. I'm like, why is the couch facing the dining room table? It could face literally anything else, but it's facing the dining room table. You guys, our guests, you are our entertainment. Please enjoy the meal as we sit and watch you.
I believe Richard commented during the live stream that it is basically set up like an IKEA room.
It was 400 square feet. What can we pack in here for you? And that was right after going through IKEA with Brant. So that one hit home.
Yes,
that one hit all 400 square feet of home.
Yeah, I laughed at your comment there when I was watching afterward. And that comes out August 19th of 2021. Then they got into Psychonauts 2, which I believe everybody expected to see.
How long does it take to beat that first one? How long is that game? That's not bad.
8 hours.
Really?
It's on Game Pass. I mean,
there's some levels that are bullshit, but it's not long. So
I was about to say I remember starting it because I'm looking at it over here on PS4, but I know that's the PlayStation version, and I always heard that technically the Xbox version always ran a little bit better.
Did they port Psychonauts to PS2?
I don't know. It's probably worth.
I did not know that. Okay, I learned something today.
Yeah. And that is coming to series consoles, PS4, PC, and that will be August 25th. Next is the game that looks like what was it, Gang Beasts, but with cute fuzzy animals called Party Animals. So this is the if
they're gonna sell the shit out of these animals.
Kind of that free for all, like wacky waving, like ragdoll mechanics. All those games seem to be, you put them on, you have a bunch of friends, and it's just hilarity and just a good time.
That one looks good. I was laughing my ass off at that trailer. It was all kind of wacky shit.
Yeah, and it's coming to Game Pass next year, 2022.
Somerville. This looks really good. This
Somerville.
Looked like,
this is that weird looking one.
I commented to Cesar that it looked like Inside and Limbo, and it says here that its Jump Ship was formed by former members of Playdead who made those two games. That one looked really, really good. And then I laughed because I work with a Somerville, so it cracked me up at the very end when they put that title.
Now, next is what I would have thought they might have ended the show on, but they didn't.
This had me and Cesar surprised because this was like halfway through the show. I'm like, what else are you gonna? This is it for this big title. I think this is your big game this year.
I know, not even halfway. It was like
30 minutes in. Yeah,
30 minutes in. Freaking Halo Infinite. They showed off the multiplayer. You know, of course, confirmed that it will. It's going to be free to play, and of course, it'll have it'll launch alongside the campaign, and it will run at 120 FPS for those who have those machines and TVs and or monitors that support 120 FPS.
It looked good, and later in the weekend they had a kind of a breakdown of the multiplayer. Season passes are going to be. There's a paid component to them, but if you buy the season pass, those things are always there that you can work towards. And I've been doing that on Master Chief Collection, and they've always been free. So I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to work this paid tier into it. But the multiplayer, I haven't played. You know, I talk about it every week, but I play Old Man Halo is what I call it. I don't really vibe with the newer style ones. And everyone who has strayed away from Halo everyone seems to be positive on this multiplayer that they've shown off. So it looks super
freaking
slick.
Awesome.
They showed Capture the Flag. It's customizations everywhere. It looks to be a hell of a game, and I can't believe the multiplayer is free to play. That's just super cool.
From there, they went into Diablo 2
non-game
Resurrected.
Pass game. It's coming to that's coming to PS4, Switch, and Windows also. But I think it's already out on PC, I believe. The beta was.
The beta on PC.
The next one surprised Cesar. This was
I think Nintendo came out with a tweet afterwards and clarified some more of the Diablo 2. So like, what else is coming with it? So I got to go back and look at it. They tweeted as soon as they did the announcement.
I saw something about an
Xbox
Evo collection, but I didn't see what all was entailed in that. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I got to look. Yeah, I got to look at it again. I just know they did their own thing with it.
The next game was a big surprise for Cesar. He was excited. That is A Plague Tale Requiem. Very atmospheric pre-rendered trailer, evoking a lot of the same feelings as its hit predecessor, notes Ars Technica, but showing no gameplay. I'll let you finish it out, Brant. You're almost there. You're not almost there.
You're good. Showed... No, I'm good. So we got, again, it seemed like a few of these games kept coming up over and over and over. This one as well. Yep. Far Cry 6, more gameplay on that. Slime Rancher 2, a franchise I'm unfamiliar with, but a lot of people were ecstatic to see this.
It looked wacky.
It did.
I think we've been giving
really
it on every single console at this point. I think Cesar was noting that it looks like a game that Square Enix wishes they had done with their Dragon Quest slimes and totally missed out on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out this December, we get the snowboarding game Shredders.
Good. This looked really good to me.
Yeah, kind of harkens back to those SSX
or 1080.
games. And this, it looks real good. Atomic Heart.
Was this our game of the show, Cesar, when we were watching? Yeah, it's up there for me.
Yes, you know how
It's
I
up
feel
there for
about
me.
BioShock, man. It looks like BioShock. Yeah.
This looked like it like changed genre a few times. I mean, it was a
It's so much
mind blowing
style.
game, dude.
Everything about it was just dripping style.
Yeah. Let's see. Then we got
This looked good.
Replaced this game.
This
Looked real good. And that's going to be the Xbox One series consoles and Windows coming in 2022. What was this? Euden Chronicles. This is the like 2.5D or whatever you want to call them gaming style, and this kind of looks like that same like Bravely Default Octopath engine, but it
looks
somehow
better to
looks
me.
better.
And this is the one that Cesar kickstarted, last year or 2 years ago? Brent, did you end up kickstarting this one?
Yes.
The
No, I did
Suikoden spiritual successor?
They had me when the game director for Suikoden 1 and 2 was making
And
the
they
game,
announced
so.
Rising, in addition to the 100 heroes that we already knew about. Have they filled in more details on that, what that is?
They said it's a prequel that will involve a lot of the backstory for the characters in
cool.
the main game. So.
I wonder if that'll be like an inexpensive preview type thing.
Don't know. They didn't say anything about cost other than it's just coming soon next year. So I would imagine probably towards the end of the year. Because this was the company who were already saying it's coming out on all consoles and whatever the next gen Switch is.
The next gen Switch.
when they did their Kickstarter 2 years ago.
I thought Rising was coming out earlier. Rising says 2023. 100 Heroes is coming out next year. Okay, I got that backwards earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I think the article made.
I thought so too. I thought that was wrong.
Yeah, 100 Heroes is the main game that comes out in 2023.
Sorry, Ars Technica. Live correction for Ars Technica staff.
Next, we went into
I see them changing.
Ascent.
They're changing it right now. Everything's changing. I haven't even F5 is changing as we speak. So they're fans of the podcast. Well done. Yeah.
The Ascent coming to all the Xbox consoles and Windows.
That was that
July 29th,
shooter, right? That we were talking about, Cesar. Yeah, that one looked good.
Yeah.
Yes. Isometric view. The one I always say that I try to get in isometric games, but I can't unless it's
Sonic 3D Blast.
Online Miami. Sonic 3D Blast is one that I constantly get up to level 4, and I'm like, why am I playing this?
Then we have Age of Empires 4, and that will be out in October.
I feel like they just started pulling back the curtain on Age of Empires 4, and here it is, October 28th already. So expect that at the end of this, fall.
Got a trailer for Outer Worlds 2.
Also a quick announcement. I didn't know that was coming up so fast.
Yeah. Then showed off a good bit of Forza Horizon 5 that just, honestly, you could have put like beautiful 4K like driving footage up there and wouldn't have known the difference because it looked so good incredible. And so smooth.
Takes place in Mexico this time.
Mexico.
And
that is coming November 9th to, of course, your Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Windows. This game called Redfall.
That was another one of those Left 4 Dead-esque looking games.
Yeah.
Originally, I thought it was Redwall. I was like, oh, they made that book series into a game. And then I
Martin the Warrior.
Redfall. I was like, oh, my bad.
And this is coming summer of next year to the series consoles and Windows. This was earlier in the show.
And my co-game of the show, I think Cesar's too.
So they announced some new DLC coming to Sea of Thieves involving everyone's favorite quirky pirate, Captain Jack Sparrow, along with some of the other
Yeah, fucking Davy Jones in there. I was done when I saw Davy Jones rendered in that Sea of Thieves art style.
It looked pretty good. It looked
like
pretty damn good.
Name the monkey.
That comes out June 22nd. It's like next
June
week.
22nd. And then we had the news that Yakuza Like a Dragon's coming to Game Pass. All those games in
that series are available on Xbox Game Pass, except for Dead Souls, I think was the name of it.
Yes, that's the one I'm looking at. For whatever reason, it's upside down in my PS3 collection. I might have done some kind of ritualistic thing to turn it upside down to maybe get a port. I don't remember what I did.
Prayer circle. Open the prayer circle.
I got almost every Tales game ever made. I'm just waiting for that time where, like, Tales collection, I'm going to make a fucking Tales circle and put it on Twitter one day.
That would look good. That would be good content for our Instagram account. There you go.
Yeah.
They punked everybody out by announcing some DLC for Fallout 76.
We had someone paying attention to the podcast with us and was very excited that there was a new Fallout 76. To break the news to
her. You should have proceeded with the gameplay footage and let it naturally happen.
Let it run its course,
and then just come back and then come back for the next 2 or 3 years. Like, I enjoyed that Fallout 76. How was Fallout 76? Just keep mentioning it ever so often, slightly. It's like death by 1,000 cuts.
The pit expansion for Fallout 76. What's next, Brant? This is a long ass Microsoft show.
It was good though. Hades is coming to Xbox August 13th.
Ain't no Game Pass.
What's this? Grounded's Shroom of Doom.
This was a really well done trailer. The Shroom and Doom update. I didn't play that. I didn't play that tech video or whatever it was they released earlier, but this was a really well done trailer. I was laughing the whole time.
The Outer Worlds 2, did you go back and watch that trailer too? There was nothing but humor just all over. It's like every Obsidian trailer they did had just humor and jokes for the whole thing. Like, more desert. Like, that's all. They just threw out the whole thing in there. So it's like...
They lean into stuff like that pretty well.
Next, more Among Us news is getting 15-player lobbies, which... That's ludicrous.
No, you can just hate on more people at once. There we go.
Yeah. And then this big announcement here is Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to the series, the Xbox Series consoles.
Hell yeah.
July 27th.
And to your standard Xbox.
And getting a Top Gun branded Jet Fighter expansion this fall. You can play as Maverick.
Yeah. The Maverick.
Later this fall.
And who was that? What was that? Your boy? Was it Tom? Who was Tom something? From the
Tom
Verge,
Warren.
That
Tom Warren.
Tom Warren, who came back and said that they were using that cloud base for the old school Xbox One to play games like this.
I think that was the news we were going to try to cover next week, but that came out today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That came out we can today. Talk about it now.
I mean, we just talked about it today. That's it. I mean,
some Series X exclusive titles such as Microsoft Flight Simulator. They're going to be playable on the old Microsoft Xbox One series of consoles through cloud streaming.
Because I mean, Flight Simulator and what the other game I played, it escapes me. Those were the only ones that are series only.
Yeah.
So
medium. There we go.
Yeah. Every time I think of the medium, it's like the TV
But I think the medium's been really rated for PS5 somewhere, like a Korean board or something.
No, they already got a mock-up. It comes with a steelbook and all that. It's coming on. Physical copies are coming September 12th for PS5, PS4, and then not PS4, PS5, Series X and Series S, and I think PC.
Bloober
September
Team.
12th or something like that. So
you said that was a good game, so I'm glad more people will be able to play it.
I enjoyed it. Some people on there on Twitter felt differently. It does kind of change directions towards the end, so some people were not happy about that. So
I know Brant's tired of talking. I guess I'll add this bit. Xbox Game Pass. This comes from Gamatsu. Xbox Game Pass adds new Bethesda Softworks titles, Day One titles, and more. So we talked about a bunch of those games that were on there, but available today was and this was as of, I guess, Sunday. But you had Yakuza Like a Dragon, and then they filled in a bunch of old Bethesda Softworks titles, including Arx Fatalis, which is available on PC, Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, which was add-on for the first one or the second one? No, that was a standalone, wasn't it? Death of the Outsider. Yep, the third adventure in the critically acclaimed Dishonored series. That's for PC, cloud, and console. You had Doom for cloud and console. That is the 2016 Game of the Year and lead up to the critically acclaimed Doom Eternal, they say. The Evil Within 2 came to PC, cloud, and console. Fallout, the original Fallout 1 and 2 came to PC. You have Fallout 3 for PC, cloud, and console. Fallout New Vegas for PC, cloud, and console. Fallout Tactics for PC. Rage for cloud and console. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus for PC, cloud, and console. So basically they filled in all the rest of the Bethesda games that were missing from that first go-round. I guess they either had issues with them or they wanted to save them for this announcement, that sort of thing. Coming soon, we went through all those other games. Scorn still doesn't have a release date. That's fall 2021. We went through all this stuff, really. Hello Neighbor 2. Coming day one in the future, A Plague Tale Requiem, Atomic Heart, Contraband, Redfall. Basically all the ones we went over in that last story, wasn't it? Slime Rancher 2.
Yeah, I mean everything was mentioned on here outside of Diablo was coming on there. So
I'll take the next one too. The Ubisoft Ubi Forward event, in which we found out that Just Dance 2022, I guess, is not coming to the Nintendo Wii.
Heartbroken.
So we got the official rename for Rainbow Six Quarantine, which you knew they weren't going to go with that. It's officially Rainbow Six Extraction. A bunch of those modes looked really good. I think the new Rainbow Six looked pretty solid. It's amazing what they did with Siege and brought that back around. Rocksmith Plus was announced, and these are all Ubisoft originals, by the way. That's their branding for their first party games, I guess.
Yeah.
That one's gonna be
he was super excited.
Game, right?
I texted him as soon as they announced it, and he was very excited. It's going to be a new subscription service that teaches users how to play electric and acoustic guitar and bass through their favorite songs. Available this summer on PC, fall on console, and to be announced timing on mobile. So coming to mobile too. Riders Republic. I feel like we've seen this one before. It's kind of like a Cesar. This is the one you referred to as the ESPN All Out Games or whatever it was, right? The spiritual successor to.
No, there was something else. They were coming out. It was like, yeah. What was it? We came up with a different name. I was talking about like you're gonna name it close to it. What was it like? What was it cool? Like a warm stick or something like that.
Cool Borders.
Warm
stick.
It was warm. It plays just like Cool Borders, but we couldn't legally call it that.
Riders Republic. It's got biking and snowboarding and skateboards and all kinds of stuff. It's coming to PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, Luna, and Stadia. So all the streaming platforms too. Rainbow Six Siege is going to come to Stadia on June 30th and carry cross progression and crossplay. Just Dance 2022, November 4th. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they kind of dug their heels in. There's not going to be a new Assassin's Creed, but they've planned an extra second year of DLC content. There was a real cool Discovery tour. I think they said it's going to be free, like free for everybody. I think I saw that. But it's kind of like they did with Odyssey and I believe Origins, where you can just kind of roam through the spaces they've created. And there was going to be a side. Well, here's the official expansion, Siege of Paris expansion. But there was also going to be like some side bits to that Discovery tour where you can live some of the mundane tasks that Vikings did. And they showed somebody just like chopping wood. Like, okay, I guess it's the Oregon Trail part of Assassin's Creed. They did a catch up on Ubisoft Film and Television, including Mythic Quest and Werewolves Within, which featured the lady from AT&T. I recognized her in the trailer there. That Mythic Quest is an Apple TV show. Werewolves Within, wasn't that a PlayStation VR title? Yeah, is that the same premise? Like trying to figure out like a whodunit or who Among Us is
no clue.
Among Us.
I don't know. That one's.
Are you thinking of?
That one's coming like in movie theaters, so pretty soon.
That is a theater one.
So
you're thinking of The Wolf Among Us, which
there was a PSVR title called I thought it was called Werewolf.
Wasn't
it's Werewolves Within?
People are sitting around a campfire or something. You're trying to figure out.
You have
Yeah.
to guess who the werewolf is. Like you ask questions and
And
stuff like that, and it's one of those early VR titles. You know, Ubisoft always is good in
launch
supporting
titles and such.
new platforms because they came out with like a shit ton of titles, and that was one of
And
them.
that's kind of
Like
what I
random
got from
stuff.
that trailer they showed of the TV show or the movie was that, you know, there's all these people locked in a room and one of them is a werewolf. Far Cry 6, we got our big breakdown on that. There's tons of Far Cry news out there. I don't think we need to catch up on that. This leaked earlier in the week, but there's a new Mario and Rabbids game called Sparks of Hope, if you were a big fan of the XCOM Marios. And they ended the show. I thought this was very surprising because it looked really, really good. And I'm a fan of that Avatar movie, but Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. The first look trailer for Avatar Frontiers of Pandora was released today during Ubisoft Forward, showcasing game footage powered by the latest iteration of the Snowdrop engine. It looked like the movie. Like, it was legit very, very sharp looking.
Yeah.
I know Cesar was noting, like, this is what happens when it's not, because it's not saddled to a PS4 or Xbox One or anything like that. Like, this is a next-gen title with that Snowdrop engine. Frontiers of Pandora is a first-person action-adventure experience developed by Massive Entertainment, Ubisoft Studio, in collaboration with Lightstorm Entertainment and Disney. And that looked really good.
Yeah, because we didn't get that bullshit we did in PS3 and 360 generation where they were like two different studios making the same game,
right?
And they were vastly different. Like some would be on PS2 and then the other ones would be on 360, and you're like, oh wow, this plays completely different. So
yep, and that was the Ubi Forward show. Who wants to tell us about that Square Enix recap, which had mostly not great stuff?
Square. Yeah, Square's show was not very long and not universally it seemed disliked, pretty underwhelmed, but they did lead off with the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which to me looked very, very good. I was a little apprehensive because and I think a lot of people were, just with what happened with the Avengers game, people were worried this might be a live service game, but they did clarify it's not. They did say that you will play as Star-Lord.
The characters look good. They didn't have that jarring initial Avengers thing that I had where I was like, these are like knockoff versions. Because they did not look like the movie ones, but they also didn't look like bootlegs, you know? They were really good characters.
Yeah. They look true to they look like they looked in their comics. That's what they look like in the comic books.
Yeah.
Like Drax looks like that in the comics, so does Gamora looks like that in the comics. So,
but I was hoping.
That was a weird echo for some reason.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
I was hoping that, you know, you wouldn't just play as Star-Lord. I think it would be cool to have co-op and have somebody else jump in as a different character, or online play with that, or be able to switch characters on the fly. But I mean, still, to me, this game looked pretty damn good.
Somebody clarified, and I mean, I'll be short and brief, that they came back and they focus on Star-Lord because of the pandemic. They focus on one character.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I'm more in tune to that one because I would rather play as one character versus jumping around. I would rather, somebody had made a comment on Twitter, like they rather play Star-Lord and his interactions with Rocket and Groot versus sitting there playing Rocket and Groot. So,
yeah.
Even though I do like Rocket as a character, but you know, you might get that whole beat in the game where like, oh my God, I wish this would be over so I can go back to this main story thing, you know?
Yeah, that is true.
I don't know.
You get into a character segment and you hate the way the character plays, and it's just, how long before I get to having fun?
And then before you go on that one, I think a lot of people complain on this show is that it looked good. It just was too long. It was like 25 minutes of him fighting a gelatinous cube, and a lot of people are like, "Man, it's
gelatinous cube."
They were like, "It looks cool, but we were on this fight for a while, you know."
Well, now we know why, because they didn't really have much else to show but a bunch of mobile games.
Enemy gelatinous cube.
Yeah, but at that point, you're better off just like I've made this argument to Richard all the time. I mean, you make a shorter show, it might be more memorable than a long dragged out one. I'm like, hey, we got this one really good game that takes up like 30 minutes of your time, and then a bunch of other stuff that you like. So I'm like, I show 5 minutes, get people in 5-10 minutes, and then move on. You know what I mean? Make it like a 30-minute show instead of like an hour of stuff people complaining. You know.
And then Yeah, and then they showed off Final Fantasy Pixel Perfect Remaster, which
Richard effectively jinxed. I got the receipts in live chat on my
did.
phone from Messenger where
I did.
he jinxed.
It was my fault. I fucked up. My bad. They don't look good, but it's like Cesar said earlier in the show. It's Final Fantasy for a new generation. It's gonna be out there for somebody.
Yeah. It's 1 through 6. They went back and
Butchered.
They
Go ahead, Brant.
They supposedly cleaned these titles up, and then they're coming to Steam and mobile platforms. So,
I mean, this is the first time we get 3 in the.
It is
the most original. We don't get 3D version of 3, so this is the first time we get a 2D version of 3. So, but as Richard said, a lot of people didn't like 3 other than the music. So, all I remember is the main character fell through a hole in the very beginning of the game. So.
And then they announced coming out June 24th, 2021, Legend of Mana. Did this get you, Richard? Because I know you enjoy the
I'm
of Mana series.
I know it's not one of the most popular Mana series titles, but this was good co-op fun for a friend of mine years ago. And the music is top notch, as always. I didn't think it was coming out this soon, so that's. Was there a release date already out there?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there a physical copy? Has anybody seen that floating around?
Play Asia has a physical copy for PS4 and Switch. Comes out day and date.
How much is that? Because I still don't have my Ninja Gaiden yet. I'm kind of anxious about Play Asia right now.
It'll take a few weeks.
39. I think it's 39
for Legend of Mana. That's not bad at all.
Yes.
And then they went into the Marvel's Avengers news. They showed off more of that Black Panther DLC.
Saga Frontier came in.
Remaster. I'm gonna get too off topic.
Oh, Saga Frontier.
And I'm sorry, Richard, but this one came in. I got my Switch and this one in. So
how'd you get it so fast?
This one's both from Play Asia. I have no idea. I just did standard shipping.
He's got a Play Asia premium.
Hey, that works.
I wish. I'm paying for Amazon Prime in Japan, so I can get my shit faster. So I'm paying $10 a month for that. So
somebody's got Cesar's. Somebody got Cesar's name and information sitting on their desk, and they wait for an order from him to go through on Play Asia. They're like,
"Get it
to
him
out
now!
Get it quick!"
Yes.
He has an audience of dozens. He's gonna give us advertisement.
They'll just pack Richard's stuff up in the box and just kick the box around the warehouse for a couple of weeks, and then they finally
put it on a FedEx truck.
Oh,
actually, my copies of Ninja Gaiden came to me from FedEx. So.
That's why I don't have mine. That's why it's not here.
No.
Mystery solved. Fucking FedEx.
Next, they shut off Babylon's Fall. This looked kind of rough, and what was surprising is that it's a Platinum Games joint.
It did not look that great to me. The art style is.
It did not.
Well, I wish they would. Are they coming out with a beta? I can remember they said they were supposed to be doing a beta, right?
On this one, I'm not sure.
I could have sworn that they're doing something with it. I'm curious to see if it's one of those games that look like shit, but then when it plays better. I'm not impressed by it at all, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm not trying to be. It's very negative when that game was already skipped whatever presentation last year was.
Yeah.
For more development time, and it doesn't seem like. I don't know what they were doing, so I don't know what's happening. I'm not a game developer, so I'm just curious to see if there's a beta on there. Maybe it plays better than what it looks like. It does. There's certain games that doesn't photograph well, so
yeah.
I don't know. I'm playing devil's advocate on this one, so we'll see. It doesn't look good. I'm not.
But this could be a pandemic effect,
me
right?
personally.
I mean, this is a studio with very high caliber, quality titles, so this could be work in progress sort of deal. Yep.
We'll see, man.
We got the Life is Strange Remastered Collection and Life is Strange True Colors. More look
Sing
at
a Lover
those.
song. Let's go. Sing it. Sing it.
The remaster comes out September 30th, 2021, and True Colors will be out.
Finish the
No one is
song.
singing True Colors. I'm sorry. No one on the show is gonna sing you True Colors. You sing it to us.
I believe, didn't they show off like some more mobile games as well? But I don't think they cataloged this on this show.
I tuned out whenever they do mobile
just
games.
humming
I
True
tuned out,
Colors.
so who knows? So
Yeah.
I was listening to Phil Collins today, so.
hey,
Oh, we listened to Phil Collins. Gosh, when was that? Sunday?
Tarzan soundtrack is still a banger, like start to finish.
Oh my gosh,
Yep.
that's what we were listening to. That was after tonight, because I started singing that randomly, so I had to put it on. They finished the show. This was a rumored title. It's Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. This is done by, I believe, developed by Team Ninja. And wasn't Koei Tecmo attached to that as well?
it is a co-production with Square Enix Japan and Team Ninja. Team Ninja is owned by Koei Tecmo, so I'm sure their name is on there somewhere.
Yeah.
This game is I played the demo after
it was broken
the
for like
was
3
over.
days, right?
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet.
Yes. It is
This
a
is
dark.
more...
It is
Never
a Dark
mind, I'll
Souls
delete my
game
install.
with a difficulty level. They can actually play a Dark Souls game. Dark Souls game you can actually play on easy, like what people have been asking
Never mind, I
for
might
a Dark
try it
Souls
out.
game. Yeah, that's why I say this might be the only Dark Souls-esque game you might be able to play, Richard, because you can
I'll
actually
give it
play
a
on easy. Somebody had I think was it John? What was the guy from Digital
John
Foundry? Lemon. So he said after playing that game he went and bought
I did see
Theory
that tweet
on PS3. So it does. The characters do look very much like the Quantum Theory characters.
I saw a
which
lot
plays
of
like
these.
Gears of War.
I saw a lot of people putting the box art, this artwork for Stranger of Paradise. Oh, that too, but they also put it on like a PS2 box art. Oh, so I guess Cesar, you'll cover that a little bit in games played, huh?
I didn't play. Like I said, I didn't play much. Maybe about 5-10 minutes, and I gotta come back to it later. So I just wanted to see how it rolled up. But that's all. I mean, I'm my little bit. I'm just gonna put on here, and I don't mean to interrupt Brant, and I want him to finish.
That's it.
This is a fucking retelling of Final Fantasy 1. This is the guy that keep calling Chaos is Garland. You play the Heroes of Light that looks nothing like the Heroes of Light from the original game, which I thought it would have been cooler to kind of kept that aesthetic and just go with that.
Right, like a next-gen
but I
version
guess
of
they
how
felt
those
differently.
characters would
They
look
wanna do-
instead of 8-bit, like our first mainstream generation, right?
Like that Shakespearean type style where they're wearing those type clothes from 1500s, 1600s or something like that. But I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to take that story from the original game and reach a modern audience. So Final Fantasy 1 is one of my favorite stories. The twist in the end is very nice. So if they keep everything on there, I'm down for it. So we'll see if they fix
All
the
right, that was your
characters or
Square Enix show. We ended up talking about that one a little longer than I thought.
Well, probably longer than the show was, and we cover more greater stuff on it than the show. So,
we helped them out more than they helped themselves.
I don't know. We didn't give 20 minutes or 25 minutes to the Guardians. Yeah, dig to a gelatinous cube.
Guardians of the Galaxy was perfect. The gelatinous cube.
Oh,
all right.
Shit. Your Capcom show, and then we'll finish with Nintendo. This is one of Brant's scroll down stories. All right. Resident Evil Reverse. This comes from Tom's Guide as well. Resident Evil Reverse multiplayer mode will launch next month. It is included for free with all Resident Evil 7 purchases. Is that right? 7 or 8? Yeah, I was about to say. The article says 7. It's weird.
I think when you bought Village, did it come with a download code for Reverse?
Yes.
So I think I've already
Is it on the disc or in the case?
I think that's how they were distributed.
It's
a code on the case. In the case, not
code
on the
in
disc.
the case.
Yeah, I think it's separate, so you can fire up the the game without having to put in the fucking
If you
Resident Evil
guys
Village
would like
disc
to
every time.
scour your used game areas and send me a code, I would much appreciate it. I will try this out with the guys.
Is that considered breaking the law? Can I go to jail for
No, because we
distributing
used to have this
reverse
fucker come in
codes?
and take the free Xbox Live codes out of the Xbox games.
I'm like you. I
God.
don't want to get a cease and desist letter from Capcom for
Yes, you
Resident
do.
Evil
Frame
Reverse.
it.
That will
Frame
not
it.
go on the wall. That's a walk
Frame
of shame.
it.
Nope.
Next up.
Not. It's like it'd be like you getting sued for doing something with Double Dragon. It'd be like, do
I
you
hate
want to put
Double
that
Dragon.
on your wall?
Do you hate Resident Evil?
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to put that on your wall? I am not a fan of the Reverse. I don't want that on my wall about Reverse. So
I don't
do you
have
want Double
decades
Dragon on
of
your wall?
hating playing as.
Do you want Double Dragon?
I don't want Double Dragon anywhere. I would ban Double Dragon. My first.
I had to sit there and get a few good men on you. Answer the fucking question. Don't sit there and.
Okay, when you and I have our debate, when we finally have our debate, and you're running on the platform of you want to unite the Dakotas and the Carolinas, I'm getting rid of Double Dragon. I'm banning Double Dragon for everyone.
I don't care as long as we get Mega Coda and
Mega
United
Coda.
Carolinas. I don't care.
Ron Dakota.
All I want, man.
Oh God, I lost my spot in the story.
Oh.
I-
It was
God, I'm
more
scrolling for
Monster
days.
Hunter
Take this one over, Frank,
stories.
'cause my thing broke.
Yeah, just real quick, it was they went over more Monster Hunter stories, a game that we will
It looks
talk
good.
even
It
more
really
about in a
does.
minute. It does. I mean, it really does. They talked about some
Amiibo.
DLC coming to Monster Hunter Rise and some amiibo. Then they jumped into Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, where you play as just lost my paper there. The ancestor of Phoenix Wright,
Rinosuke
who
Naruhodo in London. He's the ancestor of Phoenix Wright. It'll be available on July 17th for Switch, PS4, and Steam. I didn't know it was coming to those platforms. And then they seem to wrap up with esports stuff. It seems that Capcom is ending on esports news. Companies showcasing the Capcom Pro Tour and Street Fighter League. Each tournament in the CPT, I guess is the Pro Tour, will have $5,000 in prize money. But it's all about going to the Capcom Cup at the end of the year. Everyone who logs on, blah, blah, blah. The qualifier is June 19th through 20th. And you can find that at twitch.tv/Capcom Fighters, if that's your jam.
Yeah. And as Cesar said, they did say they are working on DLC for Village. That's the only news we got on that.
So we're
But that was
an hour and 12 minutes in. I can't believe we're blowing through this like we are. This is not an E3 like normal, though, as Cesar put it.
I tried to condense a little bit. But now we're getting into Nintendo.
You did fine. Great job, Brent, on the news. We're not sitting here going in circles like, oh, they didn't announce in this order. They didn't announce in this order like we normally do.
Okay, this is also a great rundown from the Nintendo thing. Perfect. All right, they started off with, and I thought this was Heihachi, so I got confused on this one. Nintendo started off with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. New character is Kazuya Mishima from Tekken. How is that not Heihachi? I thought it was. Someone please school me on Tekken. I thought it was Heihachi. They showed the old man. I thought that was him.
Yeah. He was in there too. I'm sure he'll be like the Echo Fighter or technically just
okay. Who's Mishima?
Different costume.
All three of them are related. Jin is also the youngest son.
Okay, is
He's
Ryu?
the
Is this the Ryu of Tekken? Is this like the standard fighter, like the Terry Bogard?
He is the Akuma of Tekken. He is an Oni who's trying to resurrect the monster. If you play the Tekken games, are fucking weird as hell. It's like a family who is trying to resurrect this demon to kill it. That's like all the Tekkens are about. Tekken 1 through 7. That's all the whole thing. I think Tekken 7 they finished the story. It's done. The whole Mishima family is done. I think spoilers. I think the mother was doing everything in the background, and she supposedly died since the first one.
This is deep lore.
So
it is deeper than I thought it.
Yes, it's a lot of lore for Tekken.
All right, next up you had the two Life is Strange games. You had Remaster Collection 2021, and you had Life is Strange True Colors, which is coming September 10th, 2021. We saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and Cesar has since clarified, and this article reflects that is the cloud version of the game from Square Enix. That comes October 26, 2021. Brant's Game of the Year, Worms Rumble from Team 17 is coming June 23rd. It's his favorite PS5 game, so now he's happy it's on
The
he's happy
worst
it's on
Worms
another
game.
His Worms game of all time.
Astria Ascending looked really, really good. September 30th, 2021. This is an RPG. Is that only Switch or is that coming to other stuff? Cesar, this looked like your jam.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be a Switch.
I think they said it was coming on PS4 at some point. I know it's on Windows right now.
That's from Artisan Studios. Next up was 2 Point Campus from Sega, also coming in 2022. Then we had a big heavy hitter, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania Remaster Collection, October 5th, 2021. What it said like the best of all the first 3 titles, but I could never figure out like what this is.
I think it's coming on everything because it said the game was originally announced on IDS Xbox Showcase.
The Super Monkey Ball Collection, but do we know what it is? Is it?
No. I'm sorry. The Astria Ascending.
Okay, so Astria Ascending is coming to all platforms. Do we know what the Super Monkey Ball Collection is? Is it like literally? It's all of them. It's not a greatest hits or anything. Okay, that's a big announcement. It's only, I think it was $40.
So it's a remaster of the first 3 games, and I think the mini games is I think they take all the mini games. I think they weren't clear on where mini games were pulling from, but I think there might be some mini games from the other games. But it's the first 3. It's a remaster of the first 3 games.
That was a cool announcement. That coming out. Mario Party Superstars, October 29th, 2021. We definitely got to the rest of Nintendo's year kind of brought into focus with this show.
Yeah.
A lot of people were upset about that. They were like, they thought that was just DLC, and it's a whole fucking different game.
It's all these boards, like N64 boards and stuff.
Yeah, but really, they should have supported Super Mario Party. They literally,
mad, man.
They literally just gave an update.
Brant's one of them.
A couple months ago.
Brant, do you think they learned they were designing this one and they put the online in it and they were like, we can go back and add the online to the other one?
Yeah.
All right.
But that's how Nintendo does. But this next is the game of the game of the
Metroid
show, the
Dread,
Nintendo show right
October
here.
8th, 2021. The long rumored Metroid Dread. We've heard this title kicked around for seems like 20 fucking years at this point.
And like I said earlier, this was our first Game Boy Advance game of the show. So
Brant, I initially thought the art style looked kind of weird. Tell me your thoughts on Metroid Dread. How you're feeling?
Oh, I was all in. I loved the 3DS title.
This is Mercury Steam
that came out a few years. It's made by the same people. They're gonna have some of the same mechanics, but they've but they said they've gone in. They're tweaking, the counter and some of the other things that some people had criticisms about. So they're going through and fine tuning. They're adding those like stealth mechanics to where you like hide from these robots, these giant like weird robots that like stalk you throughout the game. It looks really interesting. It looks so good.
A new Metroid, a new 2D Metroid. That's the exciting bit, right?
I was just laughing when I saw 5. Everybody on there was like, yeah, skip 4. And they're talking about Prime 4. They're like, let's go to 5. Even though this is the 5th 2D Metroid. But
People don't understand.
Skip 4.
Where was 4? We missed it.
Yeah, I loved. They were like, we're working.
I thought we would get a Prime collection. That was, I would say, that was my major Prime collection and some sort of Zelda thing. And we'll get to the Zelda stuff, but when they said, like, there's no other campaign for the 35th anniversary of Zelda, I was like, ah. And they could do the same thing with Metroid, because we could have got a Game & Watch for Metroid. We got one for the other one. We're going to talk about that, but...
Yeah. We'll talk about that after we run through
Metroid Dread looks really good. They showed off Just Dance 2022, which I know is a big seller still on Switch. Cruisin' Blast. I had to look at it twice. I was like, Cruisin'? Is that really a Cruisin' title?
It was an arcade game.
Did you listen to the music?
The music was
good. Cruising USA all over it.
Yeah,
and that's in the Cruising series. So they make that's like the arcade company now. They are the ones that put the cabinets out still.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to step in? This is a long ass list. You feel free to.
I got this. Yeah. Pretty much everybody knew that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot was going to get ported to the Switch at some point. This is also getting the New Power Awakens DLC bundled with it. And that comes out September 24th. Another look at Super Mario Golf Super Rush, which is coming out the 25th of this month. Which this game looks... I'm so sold on this game. I'm ready for this game to be out. Again, we get more Monster Hunter 2 stories. And then we went into an announcement that was hinted after, what was it, last week? They sent out a survey asking if people would pay full price for a new WarioWare game. And they announced WarioWare Get It Together coming September 10th, 2021.
God bless WarioWare.
Yes, Game Boy Advance.
Oh.
Then we have the Atlas title Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming November 12th, 2021. We're getting a couple...
It looks like a fucking Shin Megami Tensei game.
Yeah. We're getting a couple games ported to the Switch from the Danganronpa series. Danganronpa...
Decadence, yeah.
Was it Decadence? And Danganronpa S, Ultimate Summer Camp. This is a port from the Wii U that I don't think anybody saw coming. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater Switch version, which we didn't get that game over here. It was released in Japan and Europe, was it not?
Well, I thought we got a digital, didn't we?
Yeah, we got the first episode free, and then we could pay for the rest of the episodes, but we didn't get a physical copy.
Yeah. Because somebody on Twitter was pissed, like, motherfucker, I just bought it last week. That one person, they're like, I thought I was gonna go away at some point, so I finally caved, and this is what they.
I saw somebody on there joking that it had a photo mode on Switch. I was like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about?
What's cool is that this one followed the Wonderful 101, where it was code developed by Nintendo, but they gave their blessing to release another console. That was the shock at first.
Like, I thought this was pretty much a Nintendo franchise at this point, and it's coming to all of their consoles as well. So that's awesome.
And the Nintendo IP is still on that game. So like, even though it's advertised for or coming out for PS5 and everything else, it still has the Nintendo
That's cool
trademark on there. It's like when I was laughing when I looked at Psychonauts 2 on the PlayStation app when I could do the pre-order. It's like Microsoft everywhere. It's like no double fines. Like copyright Microsoft. So
PlayStation developer Microsoft.
Yeah. I mean, because they don't even do that with Mojang. They leave Mojang on there, but this is the first time I've actually seen a Microsoft name on a PlayStation game, so it was interesting.
Then we went to Doom Eternal, Ancient Gods Part 1, which actually was available at the time of the show. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, the Switch version, which was another game that was pretty much rumored to be on the Switch.
Don't forget, boys, we get our update for Doom Eternal in 9 days.
Series X version,
next gen update. As well as the PS5 one, yeah, it's coming on everything. So
available at the date of the show, which was just earlier this week. Strange Brigade Switch version.
I'm a huge fan of this title.
We got shown a little bit more of the Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope, which they showed off a little bit more. I mean, it seems like the characters can move around a little bit more, and I'm still not sold on the XCOM.
It was very
Mario
well
Rabbids
received.
game, but yeah, a lot of people liked it. I was like, it was all right.
This next one's a bombshell.
They came out of nowhere with Advanced Wars 1 and 2
and y'all see
Reboot Camp.
Game Boy Advance!
Did y'all see who's making this? Way Forward's working on this one.
Yes.
Oh, that art.
Way Forward.
That art style is
Way
freaking
Forward.
gorgeous. It looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't put the fucking limited run show on this thing.
Oh, we did forget the limited run show.
Dude,
Everything ever made.
they had a huge thing. Okay, real quick,
All right,
since you brought it
go
up,
ahead.
I have a couple notes down here because I mean I didn't put
we're almost done.
Devolver
We're almost
or
done with
Limited
Nintendo.
Run
We got
on
5 to
here.
go on Nintendo.
Nope. Yeah, finish Nintendo.
I know this is gonna take 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
You got Brand. You got Brand on his bullshit.
So,
yes,
like,
we diverged. I think you.
So Devolver, I mean, they had a few good shows. I mean, a few good games come out of their show. One of those standouts was Shadow Warrior 3. If y'all saw that like very Doom-esque game, grapple hooking and double wielding like pistols.
We know about the low wing. Yes.
So, but from Limited Run, I mean, did y'all see that? What was it? Blood Rain Betrayal, Fresh
good.
Bites, also being done by A Way Forward. That looks so damn good. And then you're getting a physical edition of Rondo of Blood for the Turbo Duo.
Our non-existent Polymega. I'm gonna buy it so I can play it on Polymega that I hope I get. So.
As well as a whole list of
Polymega
titles.
every show. Let's go.
Please go look it up. We don't have enough time, or we would be here literally for like 3 hours.
The most important thing was we're getting Shantae on one every Shantae game.
Yeah, all the Shantae games are coming to PS5.
That's all I care about. We can go. We can keep moving. So yeah.
So next.
Polymega.
Next, we went into the Zelda news. I got super excited because they said, this is our last announcement for the show. And they immediately went into the announcement of the expansion pass.
Calamity. I was like, no.
Yeah, literally, we're ending on Calamity. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Age of Calamity DLC. This is what we're ending on. But then we get the creator of Zelda come out and talk about how they've continued to work on Breath of the Wild 2. It's obviously Zelda's 35th anniversary, and to commemorate, we have this new Zelda Game & Watch. He pulled it out of his pocket, showed it off.
More importantly,
it looks freaking awesome.
It's gonna have more than one game this time.
You get, it gets Zelda 1 and 2 from the original NES, Link's Awakening.
First game I ever owned, Link's Awakening.
And all three of us can finally beat Link's 2.
We're gonna beat that on the stream.
Finally do it.
You just wait.
And
game's unbeatable.
And a Legend of Zelda themed version of the original Game & Watch game Varmints. And then they ended on the new trailer for the Breath of the Wild sequel, which has been confirmed to actually have a actual title, but we've been told that if they were to tell us the title, it may give away
The Legend of Zelda Dies.
Happening. So they
can't announce that.
Yeah. They can't.
The Legend of Zelda, Ganon is the bad guy. Again.
So we, as soon as I finished this, I thought the show was awesome. Richard had texted me and he said, "Dude, what about that show?" And I told him, I said, I'm a little bit on in the disappointment camp on this one. And it's honestly the show was awesome. The show was really awesome. I was, like you had mentioned earlier, my bigger disappointment came at the fact that they just kind of glanced over it. He showed the Game & Watch and said, "This is to commemorate the 35th anniversary of Zelda. We do not have any more plans for any more games or any more campaigns to commemorate the 35th anniversary of Zelda."
You texted me and said nothing for Metroid. We could have got one of these things we could have got one of these Game & Watches for Metroid.
They didn't even mention it's Metroid's 35th.
Well, I mean, you saw when he mentioned that they wanted to do something and they quickly came together and did the Game & Watch. Those were his words. Because I think originally nothing was going to happen. I think because the pandemic hit, we already had Mario, that All-Star Collection was already done.
I guess 30.
That pandemic hit.
Mario got a Game & Watch. Mario got 2 different games.
Yeah, but that was probably pre-pandemic.
Luigi got the Summer Luigi.
He got a Wii.
Mhm.
He's got a Wii. A Wii.
We got Dr. Luigi at some
He got
point.
a Switch.
Yeah, they went all out for Mario.
It's pandemic, so
They got
but
Pumas, man. Mario Pumas. They
But
had all sorts of stuff.
I'm looking at the Lego
Crossover.
NES set down
somebody
here.
had made a comment there, and I think I know Jason Schreier said that Breath of the Wild 2 is not coming out in 2022. It's coming out in 2023. I think somebody had, I think was it Jeff Grubb might have said that's why we didn't get those HD remasters of the Wii U games, is because they know that this Zelda's going to get pushed back, and they probably had those remasters done, and they'd be like, hey, we're pushing it back.
Yep.
These are coming out.
Just like they did for, what was it, Pikmin is what he referenced also?
Yeah, Pikmin 3, because they said Pikmin 3 was done way in advance before they even made the announcement. Right. It was already done. So he said it was already on cartridge and everything. They were just sitting on it. So I think it's going to be the same thing with the Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess. They're going to push it back and be like, "Hey, sorry, here's
because these year anniversaries are just whatever, right? It's something we really hype up more than they do. Did they ever say it was going to be the 35th anniversary of Zelda? They were going to do anything for it?
Most of it is just the community on social media.
I mean, a Metroid.
Yeah.
A Metroid one would have been awesome.
We might get a tweet on the official day.
Do what?
So we might get a tweet on the official day when it's like this day, 35 years ago, the first Zelda game come out. We might get that.
Yeah.
We're getting a new Metroid.
We're getting a Game & Watch with 3 awesome Zelda games on it.
A new fucking 2D Metroid game. Yeah. That's not a remake of an old Metroid game.
And continues, and it seems like it continues a bit of the Fusion type gameplay that we got from Metroid Fusion, which was one of my favorites. I love the shit out of Metroid Fusion.
Yeah.
I thought that game was awesome.
This was the game that what Patrick Klepek wrote for 1UP. They said he wrote it 16 years ago or 12 years ago, where they were supposed to make the announcement for Metroid Dread, the same name. Yeah, had the same name in the same article, and he said it was canceled because they decided to go with Metroid Prime Hunters for the DS.
Not an awful game. Oh, we lost one of our viewers. I see it down here. Hold on. All right, so what do we think overall? Everybody pleased? Ish?
The whole thing was okay to me. Every show was.
They seemed to do like Nintendo did like Microsoft, where it was game. So
yeah.
Microsoft lucked out because they've been patient. They got these studios, they let them develop it, and they never rushed these studios, and they had stuff to show. I mean, the pandemic wouldn't matter. So
I think again we all have the problem of there's too many games now. So the problem's going to continue. Too many games.
I'm fine with everything that was shown on here, but I mean, I don't think I think E3 broke for me when after that bullshit PlayStation won the summer games
when they did the 4 things.
I mean, nothing's lived up to it since for me. I mean, that's just me on a personal level. Ever since then, Shenmue 3, Final Fantasy 7 remake. Ever since then,
and when we stopped being able to go to the theater and be a part of that experience too.
I mean, that part was cool, but I mean, I don't know.
And you guys give me the IHOP thing with the coffee, the cold ass coffee in it.
Fuckers. I still remember. I still remember Andrew making that comment where for Shenmue 3. Remember they had a tier that was like $15,000. It's like imagine telling your spouse is like, yeah, I paid $15,000 for your Suzuki, and they're thinking it was like a Suzuki bike or something like that, but it's like for the video game Shenmue 3.
That's actually pretty good. I didn't think of it that way. I bought a Suzuki.
I paid $15,000. Hopefully it comes out soon.
Just use Suzuki in that brown jacket.
Because was that also the same summer that we also got that excellent Xbox game E3, or was that the year after? I can't remember.
Xbox that was a good one. Hit their stride that summer or the one after, I think.
That was the last Microsoft one.
That was
me personally.
That was gunslinging. That was Tomb Raider and Gears and Rare Replay and all that stuff. Yeah, Master Chief Collection, I think.
Yeah, because they were heads in and backwards compatibility and all. It was nonstop stuff.
Yeah. Everybody looks strong. Nobody looks. I mean, we don't have Konami still. Yeah. Capcom. We knew what Capcom was going to come out with, and we have a stronger Capcom than we have in years that I remember. So. The industry's strong.
Nobody's calling them Crapcom like they used to. So
the industry's strong, So
we were supposed to get that Mega Man Battle Network collection, but you saw that creator. He said that due to COVID, he said their whatever announcement they have for the Mega Man Battle Network anniversary was supposed to be this year, but they said it'll be next year. And they said, please anticipate. So the rumor was we were supposed to get a collection. This would have been the summer of Game Boy Advance, but
it can still be the fall of Game Boy Advance. All right, that's all our E3 news, right? We're going to go into games played.
That was it.
I'll start off a little bit because I know you guys are going to talk Ratchet and Clank. I did not get Ratchet and Clank until Monday. My pre-order from March never shipped, or actually shipped and was supposed to be early. Then was supposed to be day of, and then was supposed to be 2 weeks from now, and then I got it Monday. So fuck FedEx, and I have installed Ratchet and Clank, and I spent my time installing Ratchet and Clank, playing Ratchet and Clank 2016, which is still a damn good game. And I was able to pick it right up and finish the level that I was on, so now I'm on to the next piece that I'm after. That game continues to be good. I didn't play a whole lot of it. A friend of the show, CJ, was here for about 4 hours one day, and I was... That's the
CJ for San Andreas?
It's him. He rode his bike over here.
Yeah. He's doing that all hell this shit. Yeah. We're doing this shit again. That little, whatever that means.
Oh hell. Here we go again. No, but I was just showing him off the OLED, and we played the very intro of Rift Apart, and we were looking at the different modes, like performance mode and the ray tracing 60 and that kind of stuff, because he had mixed experiences with it on his 4K set, and he liked what he saw from the OLED. We started Gears 5 on the OLED and checked out the Series X enhancement with the zoomed out, perspective, like the field of view. And oh my god, that game on Series X and OLED is, it looks good. I want another playthrough of that game. He made the same story choices we did, Cesar. So I was asking him, where does he think this is going to go from there? I'm very intrigued with the Gears.
Yeah, you're still yelling at me about letting you die. I'm like, bitch, I'm trying to choose a choice. Yeah, you're like, save me. I'm like, what? I'm like,
because you're getting a different cutscene than me. I didn't know you were given the choice. I still go back. That was my game of the year. What, 2 years ago? I had so much fun.
Because you're screaming at me. I'm like, dude, I haven't made a choice yet.
Like,
give me a second here. You're like, don't fucking kill me. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I can't see what you're seeing. I mean, that whole game was like, Richard was like, what's happening? I'm like seeing all these extra scenes because I'm playing as a girl, and I was like, I'm just finding random things. I don't see what you're seeing.
I need to play through his Kate so I can see that side of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was it, and I played some Halo, so that is the extent of mine. I will be deep diving into Ratchet and Clank in this next week. I know you guys are pretty far into it, but I'll let y'all take over. We are almost to our hour and 48-minute bewitching hour.
Mine'll be quick. I too have a shipping story that
fuck FedEx
can match Richard's. I ordered a DualSense controller,
the Rojo,
and the red variety, from PlayStation themselves, and I followed it on the UPS app, and I was supposed to get it Friday, and they delivered it to my local post office for delivery. And then I just got a notification that the local post office has delivered it back to UPS to deliver it to me.
Okay, it's coming
tomorrow.
to you at least.
So I'm like, I'm not sure where the ball got dropped, but I was gonna I'll wait till Friday and I'll tell Sony. I'm like, I don't know what happened to it. So I guess somebody UPS screwed up, and they're like, they thought I was supposed to go to the post office to finish the job, and the post office is like, yeah, we're not getting any money from this, so you got to go and finish the job.
That's like that Spider-Man meme where there's two Spider-Mans pointing at each other.
Yeah. I was looking at what I can look at the ad. I looked at the app, and it's funny because it's been sitting. My controller's been sitting in my local post office since Friday, and I was like, they just gave it back to UPS so they can give it back to me tomorrow. So I'm like, I was like, whatever, because I thought it was gone. I was like, wow, someone's just stealing PlayStation stuff. They just look at the SIE on there, like, yep, mine.
I see that SKU. I'm gonna take this.
I'll do Ratchet and Clank last since I know Brian's gonna have some stuff to talk about it.
Yeah.
My brain just died. I apologize. I had everything in there. That always happens.
Brain dead.
So the first thing I'll talk about, I'm going to be brief. I didn't spend too much time on the Stranger Paradise. Like I said, I talked about it earlier. I put maybe about 5 or 6 hours in the Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS5 exclusively on the Yuffie DLC. And I told Richard in a text earlier this week, Yuffie's fucking awesome. I love her, man. She's great. She's fucking adorable, man. She's going through and she has that whole innocence in there where she's a go-getter, and it's like the same spirit she had in the original Final Fantasy VII game, and it's fleshed out a little bit more. So she's super excited. She shows up in Midgard. She's going to go meet with Avalanche. And her goal is to steal the ultimate materia from Shinra. And it was their way to show that Wu Tai was back in the fight against Shinra.
Kind of proving the clan to everybody else.
Yeah. So she comes in dressed up as a Moogle, and it's very secluded. She's trying to be hidden like a ninja, but she's like freaking out in the open because she's the only one wearing a Moogle hood. So she has a lot of that going on for her. It's like she's got this full innocent actor where she has a good gumption, but she's like she tends to fuck stuff up because she doesn't have the experience.
Were you able to jump straight into that part?
So this game's like a taste. So it's not a long game. I think I'm at the very end of it. It's only 2 chapters. I think I'm at the very end fighting the boss. It took me about 6 hours. The only reason why it took me 6 hours is because I ended up doing the 4 Condor completely and got the Grandmaster title. And then I started doing some of the VR stuff on there. Got the Aruma summon. That was an extra 2 hours. So this game you can probably go through this whole thing about 3 hours probably. She ends up meeting Avalanche, but not the Avalanche we're used to. That one they call is a Splinter Cell because they're more extreme. She met the original Avalanche group, which is separate from them, which is a host of new characters.
These are the real bioterrorists.
They're more about. These are the real. This is what they call the real Avalanche. They're trying to stop Shinra, but at the cost of not endangering anybody's life in Midgard. Versus Barrett's Avalanche, where, hey, if we blow shit up and it's against Shinra, we're doing what we need to do. But if there's some casualties, it is what it is. That's how he's running his show. So that's where they got formed off as a splinter group. So Yuffie's going through there, and she's wondering if she should have joined the splinter group because they, as Wu-Taians, are still upset about the war they have with Shinra, and they want to hit them back a little bit harder. So I'll leave that. That's kind of the opening for the story. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go into any more details. She ends up meeting a new character that we haven't experienced before, called Sunan, who's trained under her father in Wu-Tai, who has his own backstory, and he's kind of assisting her on this. And so he has the whole idea. They have this whole dynamic where she's like, you have more experience with the war against Shinra. So he calls her boss, but he's the one always telling her like, all right, we got to like go around this quietly. And she fucks up and like sets off the monster. And he's like, oh dear God, it's like driving him insane. But he keeps calling her boss and everything. He's like, well, follow your lead, boss. But she's always doing stuff to like get him in trouble. So it's like that whole dynamic in there. It's pretty funny. But he says he's more experienced, but he's definitely not. But definitely is more experienced, vice versa. So the gameplay is very different in this one. So her abilities is mostly elemental. So you have the boomerang attack and you have shurikens tied to 2 different buttons. You can tie different elements to them as you attack. So she plays more like a ninja. They expect you to jump in, attack, and then roll back and dodge. If you go into this game and play it on normal and just spam the attack buttons, you're going to get your ass handed to you. You get destroyed. So, like, you can't just sit there and spam it. She doesn't take off much damage either. So they want you to play with a little bit more.
You have to use all of her style elements
in there when you go in there. You got to roll in there, do attacks, roll back. Because the game for me was like, it was super fucking hard. I was just trying to play like I played with Cloud and them. And I was like, I kept dying. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know what I was doing wrong. It's like, it's just the way I was playing. So she's not built like that. She's definitely plays differently than the main cast of characters. So I haven't gotten to the end. There's supposedly supposed to be another twist in the end, kind of like they did a twist in the main game, where they kind of change up the whole dynamic of the original game, which is a pretty big twist, they said. And people were on Twitter were getting mad because they were sending screenshots and ruining it for people. So I haven't got ruined yet, but I'll wait to see. But it's supposed to end up changing the whole way like this whole Final Fantasy VII is kind of like how Marvel has different multiverses with different possibilities. This one is definitely, after the first game, this is kind of like on its own plane. It has a lot of the same things, but it has like a lot of their own different things going on. But it still makes it interesting. So, but yeah, that's it for Final Fantasy VII. I'll probably finish it up later this week. The one I'll start with is Ratchet and Clank. Like I told Richard before we did the stream, I finished it. I got the platinum. I did everything in the game.
Destroyed it.
It took me 14 hours. Yeah, Yeah, as soon as we were starting the Microsoft stream, I was finishing up the last trophy to get the platinum. So I think I played that game all day Saturday, and I beat it at like Sunday at like 3 in the morning or something like that.
Jeez.
It's that fucking good. This one does not take place, and I know you probably saw this, Brant. It does not take place after the reboot, the reimagining, the Ratchet & Clank 2016. It takes place after the PS3 game, which I think was Future. I don't think it did All for One. So as you start out the game, it goes through like this parade honoring Ratchet. And he's been out the game and Clank. They've been out the game for, I guess, since the PS3 era or whatever. How many years? It's been a while, like a decade. They haven't done it for a while. The Hero game. And so they go through the parade and they kind of recreate like their greatest hits. And I think it ended up on the Clock Tower one, which I think was the Future game. I think that was the last thing they did. So this one takes place after the PS3 game, not after the 26 reimagining. Gameplay wise, I mean, it plays like Ratchet & Clank. I mean, you get the weapon wheel. You get the unique weapons with different abilities. Collect bolts. You collect raritanium. Was it raritanium?
Raritanium.
To upgrade the weapons and max them out. And your
weapons that in every game?
Level up and move up levels. I vaguely remember that. I think they tend to change the weapons up. Like they'll keep certain ones on there. Like we didn't get the Mr. Zircon on in this one, but we had like the Glove of Doom. You haven't gotten that far in there. The Glove of Doom, which is like their version of dogs, and that's my go-to one because usually I go to the one where I can spawn off a whole bunch of people, NPCs, and just level that shit up. That way, when I get into a hard enough battle, I let those fuckers go, and they're just attacking everybody as I'm attacking the boss, and that tactic still works. You start out this game where was it Clank rebuilt the what's the name of it? Dimensionator. What game was that from? Was it the first game or the second game in the series?
I'm trying to remember.
They went through this whole thing where Ratchet's dad was trying to protect the Dimensionator.
Yeah.
And they destroyed it for a reason. But then Clank's like, he rebuilt it so they can find the Lombaxes again.
Mm-hmm.
So it kicks off this whole multiverse thing, similar to like, I think Sam Maggs wrote this. She did a really great job with it. There was a lot of moving moments in there. The ending was great. It was fucking great. She also wrote for Marvel Comics too. It is very Marvel-esque, to put it that way. Because you do have multiverses, you got different Lombaxes, you have different versions of Clank. So like it's like they have their counterpart for each dimension. So I'm not gonna go into too much detail because Brant's still playing on how far it is. I know you're gonna play at some point. So it goes a little bit more deeper into the history of the Lombaxes and what they were doing. It gives you an idea of what they're going with next. As you said earlier, you allude to when your game plays that there's different gameplay modes. One with ray tracing, one for performance with ray tracing, one for fidelity with ray tracing, and one for performance. I think I primarily played mine with fidelity with ray tracing. There was a lot of moments in that game where different colors will pop off the screen very well. The ray tracing is done very well in this game. I didn't have any issues locked in at 30 frames per second because I do prefer to play my action games at 60 frames. So I think it was jarring at first. After a while, I grew accustomed to it, and it was fine. Outside of that, I don't think I have anything else to mention. I mean, the whole dynamic where you go between two different characters kind of keeps it even, so that you may have Ratchet on one planet, and what's her name on the Rivet on another planet. So, and they tend to let you play as Rivet more.
That's cool.
And I do say their Nefarious is more competent than our Nefarious or Ratchet's Nefarious
across the rifts.
Their Emperor Nefarious is way more competent than Dr. Nefarious. Let's put it that way. He actually took he actually
was successful.
Does things. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. The story's done so well. Like he was so successful, that's what caused his failures. So I was like, it's done very fucking well. It's a good story. She's also doing our Dark Alliance game that comes out this month. Excellent. So she wrote the story for that too. So it's another one to watch.
Brant.
Yeah. She. Yep.
Yes.
All right, Brant, finish it up. Take us home. Country roads.
We're at 148 now. We didn't make it.
So my son and I played a little bit of the Astro City Mini. We played some of the just regular Golden Axe. Played through that whole story, and then I introduced him to Virtua Fighter. He had never played Virtua Fighter, and we had so much fun with Virtua Fighter. And then when I told him, I was like, they just came out with another one of these, and it, is exclusive to PlayStation right now. I was like, I've got it. He's like,
Nice.
we're gonna have to play it sometime. So, we're definitely gonna have to do
Virtual
that.
Fighter, man, the year of our Lord
Other than
2021. We're
that-
talking about fucking Virtual Fighter.
Oh, I love Virtual Fighter. And then other than that, I've also been playing Ratchet and Clank. I've been having a lot of fun with this game. I've been playing it on performance with ray tracing, so 60 frames a second, so smooth. The ray tracing is awesome. All the reflections are so good. The DualSense,
how is that
the way
integration?
it handles all the vibration it's amazing. Everything from the little sounds that come out of the controller to all the different haptic feedback, the way it's done really, really well in this game.
Tell us about. I think you had a technical issue at one point, didn't you?
I've actually had a couple. It is a brand new game, and they did have a day one patch. I haven't had anything too crazy happen, but I guess I got the true ending after playing for like a couple minutes. You say Dr. Nefarious was incompetent. He wasn't incompetent in my game. So after playing like the first 5 or 10 minutes or so, when you're chasing after him after he's stolen the Dimensionator, the scene from the trailer where he says, we're going to a dimension where I never lose, and he sucks both you and him into this dimension, and it's Ratchet and Clank flying through that big rift, and you're flying past all these, like it looks like shards of glass showing you all these different dimensions. Well, I got to that part, and I mean, I was just mind blown, and I'm waiting for, him to fall through the rift, and Ratchet just keeps going straight through this space, and every now and then he just goes, whoa, whoa, and he just keeps going farther and farther and farther, and I can like turn the camera and I can see the space where he's supposed to be, and I'm like, yeah, that's not supposed to happen, but I guess this is the true. Yeah, this must be the true ending. He just falls infinitely into space, and I guess Nefarious wins, and game over, man. But the scary part about that was I tried to restart from checkpoint, and my screen went black. And
flawless victory.
From there, I was able to get back out to the main menu, and was not able to exit the game. It would not let me quit the game. So I said, all right, at this point, I'm just going to restart the PS5. So go to try and restart PS5, and it freezes on after I press restart, and it just sits there.
Ruh-roh.
And yeah, I had to simulate power outage, unplug it, let it sit for a second, plug it back in,
nervous,
then turn it back on and rebuild database. And it turned back on, and I was like, as long as it turns back on and I can go back into the storage and see all my save data and stuff, I'll worry about it later. Because I had to. That was Saturday, and we went and had an adventure with you, Richard.
We did.
And your family in the IKEA.
We were in the model home from 12 minutes.
The model home for 12 minutes. So, but since then, I mean, I had another game-breaking glitch. This one happened by accident completely. There's these bugs that you can get on and like ride, and they go super fast.
Oh,
slugs.
Fast slugs.
And so there's like these little nests that you can hit, and they pop out. But I was standing next to one, not realizing there was already one out. I hit the nest. One is popping out of the nest. I see the one in front of me, and the prompt comes up to ride it. And I go ahead and hit it, but as I do that, I see, because you can scare these things. if you do that too close to them, and they jump up and just dive into the sand or into the ground rather than,
Right.
stay right there. So I saw Rivet get onto the little slug, go into the air, and then go in the ground, and then just bloop, error message popped up. And I was able to restart the game, and it was fine. And then I had one more when I was doing this segment where I had to like go up this mountain area, and it teleported me after I finished the segment that I was doing. It had like a small cutscene, and then all of a sudden I was under the ground. Yeah, and I couldn't, like, I could move like a little bit back and forth, but I couldn't jump and get out of it. I was like, oh no.
I like when games break, but not right after I've done something. I'm like, no. I hope you saved.
But there was it's scripted in the story that, like, from that portion, a character opens up a rift and takes you through it. So the rift still opened up and took me from underground to where I was supposed to be. So it was fine. It didn't like absolutely break the game completely. But I was playing a little bit now, and it seems to be, I think it said I was like 46% complete. I'm trying to go through and collect a lot of things as I go. So yeah, I'm probably about halfway through. In story wise, to give you an idea, Cesar, I'm on this planet, and I'm trying to get what is called phase quartz.
Yeah, that's the whole bit where you're jumping from space.
Yeah,
to another dimension.
Yeah, and that the whole concept with this game, where you're going through different dimensions, and that new mechanic where you can be in a big gunfight and you can look up, and sometimes there are those there are these like blue almost like holes, like there's this weird kind of oblong shape.
Some would call that a rift.
And if you look at it, it will light up yellow, and you can pull yourself to it and through it, and jump basically a long distance, and it adds this this great element of being able to an enemy's way over here, you're firing at them, and then get close enough to pull yourself through that rift, and now you're behind the enemy, and you can change it up, get the advantage on them, and it adds a good bit, and it's so flawless, and it works so well.
They incorporating that in a bunch of the battles.
Yes, I mean there's plenty of places where you can pull yourself through these rifts.
They do it a lot where you get into areas where there's a lot of enemies on screen coming at you at once. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
So, because then it's kind of like the whole Doom-esque thing where you're constantly moving. Because if you stay in one central location, you're gonna get overwhelmed and pinned down, and
that's
your
a good
life is gonna
gameplay
go down,
sequence to model yourself after that 2016 Doom arena style stuff. That movement.
And they added some armor to this, and you can like change the way Ratchet or Rivet looks by putting on these different armors. And basically you can find by doing side quests or going through, you'll see like this big, what looks like a big almost like when you hit glass and it's spider webs, you'll see like this purple kind of spider webby deal, and it's a crack in the fabric of space-time, and
it's also a good No Doubt song as well, Spiderwebs.
Ratchet's walking in the spiderwebs.
Leave a message, and I'll call you back.
Mm-hmm.
And you go over to it, and you can pull yourself through it, and it basically will take you to... most of them are kind of like a more like action platformy type of deal. And so it kind of breaks up your gameplay from, your typical Ratchet and Clank, to where you can just run around and, get up to get up to your goal and get, whatever piece of armor or whatever's up there, and then, get down and leave. It adds, this whole game is just, it's so good. I can't wait to continue playing it. And I think you'll enjoy it a lot too. It was funny because when was it? Sunday I was playing it and I saw, or it was later Saturday, because I saw, I was playing it and it was dinner time and I was about to get off. I saw Cesar was playing it and then I saw Richard playing
2016
Ratchet & Clank. Yeah. 2016. I was like, oh man, he still hasn't gotten it. It still hasn't gotten his.
CJ from San Andreas was playing on mine too, so.
CJ was playing, yeah.
I saw CJ on there. I had a couple friends that I used to work with back in the old Best Buy days.
Friend of the show, Andrew, was playing it this weekend. It is the premier PS5 title at the moment. Yep.
It's a good ass game. It's people say it's the
killer app.
The game to show off what your PS5 can do.
All right, you guys, we're at 2 hours.
But that's it. That was
man, we made it through E3
played.
and games played in 2 hours. I'm proud of us.
Yep. And 2 hours.
It's usually like
amazing.
I think E3 in years past has been 2 shows. But it's been a bigger convention too, so.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else we want to add before we get out of here? All right.
Nope.
Thank you all for joining us this week, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
See you.
Adios.